13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Extraño mi vida como nunca en mi corazón quisiera.
Like I almost know the song by now since I played it a few times before. If I start knowing the words, that'd be really impressive. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Empire 161 Show, Season 4, Episode 12. 11, sorry, jumped the gun there for a second. Yeah, happy 4th of July. And yeah, hopefully everyone's getting ready for your barbecues or doing whatever you're going to do today, but you can start off with some Yankees baseball talk with us. And we're opening up with Belé La Peña, which is, no? Yes? The pronunciation is okay?
Say it again.
I said, Belé La Peña.
Vale la pena.
Okay, all right, good. I got it. Juan Luis Guerrera, that's the song that Domingo Germán warms up to, and pretty much if you follow Yankee baseball this week, you know why they're opening up. Pretty big week for Domingo. Thanks for joining us this morning. If you're joining us on Facebook live stream, or if you're joining us on YouTube, or on Twitter, or Instagram, or wherever you found the audio-only podcast, we appreciate your support. With me, as always, is Lisa. Lisa, what's up?
Hey, good morning, everybody. We almost never get to say good morning on our show, but today we are. And as Ed said, this is Vale la Pena by Juan Luis Guerra, and it means it's worth it. And we're going to talk about just how much it was worth it when Domingo Germán pitched his perfect game earlier in the week. Oh my gosh, that was so exciting to watch. But as we cover that, we're also going to cover the 3 wins and the 3 losses in the 2 series that the Yankees were in versus the Oakland A's and the St. Louis Cardinals. And then last night, Ed and I went to the game, and we saw the Yankees beat the Orioles in a very exciting, dramatic game. We saw fireworks on the field in terms of the Yankees' bats, and we also saw fireworks after the game, which were beautiful and very well done, I must say. We enjoyed that a lot. I'm also going to take a moment to say, and I told Ed this yesterday, I got to go to Citizens Bank Park last weekend, and I saw the Phillies play the Nationals. It was my first time there, and that park is absolutely beautiful. If you've never been there and you're listening, it is a fan-friendly park. It is a kid-friendly park. I saw some dogs there, although I believe it was service dogs, not like bring your dog to the park day. But everybody there was amazing. The park is just really a gorgeous park to look at. There's so much to do in there. I have to say, and Ed, you've been there before too. I know it's been a while. Mm-hmm. In terms of food, not the biggest selection of things outside of the normal ballpark food. So of course there were cheesesteaks because that's what Philly's known for. There was a Chickies and Pete's, but all you could get was the crab fries.
Which we have now in Yankee Stadium, but like
which they do, right? So
the
I wasn't
first time
really
when I went, that's where I first had it. So okay, I had no idea. So it was a novelty to me, but no, for Yankee Stadium, we've had it for a few years now. So right,
but outside, like we walked the whole park to see what was around, and I was excited. I wanted to get a chicken cheesesteak. I don't eat steak. They didn't have chicken cheesesteak, so I couldn't get one in the park. I did get one the next day. But other than that, it was like burgers and dogs and chicken tenders. And I don't know. I guess I'm a little spoiled because in Yankee Stadium, you could get sushi, you could get halal, you could get like a full-blown plate of arroz con pollo if you want. Like you can get a lot of things at Yankee Stadium. So that is my only down. Oh, no, I have 2 downsides. The food was one. The second one was I had a purse that was not bigger than a drawstring bag that you would wear on your back. You could bring a drawstring bag in, but I wasn't allowed to bring my purse in. So I did not know that, and we had to. They had a mobile locker by the third baseline outside. We had to put. I had to put my purse in the mobile locker, and then proceed to walk around and see people carrying bags that were bigger than my purse in the stadium. I was very upset about that because I don't carry big purses to begin with. So, and then I told you this, Ed. After that game, we had a post-game show by DJ Diesel, aka Shaquille O'Neal, who I did not know was apparently an international DJ. And everybody there lost their minds except for me and my boyfriend. We were like, what is going on? Why are all these people going crazy? We're looking around like, what? People were losing their minds. There was a girl with a cardboard cutout of Shaq walking around, screaming her head off. It was crazy.
Wow. That's when you told me that last night, I was pretty blown away by that. I was not expecting that. I was just recently finding out that Mika Zibanejad out of the New York Rangers was a DJ and doing an international competition. And apparently, I knew Shaq was like, I remember like him rapping some,
right?
And I get that, but I didn't know about the whole DJ part. Like that's a whole nother thing.
Yep.
Bizarre.
And the one, I'll just say one last thing. If anybody's never been there, the one cool thing about the area where the field is that it's with the other sports arenas, right? So the Eagles, the Flyers, and I'm missing a team. The 76er.
Well, the Flyers and the Sixers played. They share the same building.
Okay. Oh, so then I think the fourth building that I'm counting is the Xfinity Live building. But yeah, they're all like right there next to each other. So there's a bazillion places to park a car, and then you can go across the street from any of them and like get food and have a beverage after the game.
So that seems to be a fairly, I'm going to be honest, it seems to be a fairly common thing in other cities, not ours, because our stadiums and arenas are all far from each other, fairly far.
And in the middle of busy places too.
Yeah. So like in Kansas City, the Royals and the Chiefs actually share parking lots too. Like they have their stadiums on the side, and then there's the parking lot in the middle. Let's see, in Pittsburgh, PNC Park where the Pirates play, and Heinz Field, which I actually don't think is Heinz Field anymore. I think it's something else. There's a parking lot in between them and everything. So there seems to be a common thing. But yeah, ours are all over, and like Madison Square Gardens, obviously not. They don't even have their own parking lot. It's just whatever.
You get there by train, or you don't show up.
Or you park in the street. You get there early and you get
very
metered parking
early.
when it expires. Yes, so there are ways, but no, you're right. For the most part, like it's really cool. And I noticed I was actually at the Mets Giants game Sunday night, and I noticed there was some construction going on over there, and it reminded me that NYCFC is getting their stadium built over there. So I can't wait to get them at Yankee Stadium. And I wonder if they're going to have the same thing. Because Angie asked me, she's like, well, are they going to do the parking lot thing where they share it or not share it? I don't know. That's kind of interesting to me. I can't imagine that arena is going to be that big. Like, it's not going to hold 40,000.
I mean, maybe not hold 40,000, but remember, a soccer pitch is huge. So,
no. I think for the playing surface, of course, but I just meant like, the stands. I don't. 25,000, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what they've been drawing. Like, honestly, I did not look up their attendance to see.
I know. I mean, they're a pretty popular club. They won the championship, so.
Yeah. I don't see them selling it out Yankee Stadium, or actually, wow, lineup just dropped, by the way.
For today?
Yes. So, we'll get that for you in a little bit. Anthony Rizzo's leading off. Okay.
Okay. Well, okay.
We'll talk about that more in a bit. Yeah, but no, Citizens Bank is really cool. That's a really cool ballpark. I don't recall anything out of the ordinary now, because I'm just thinking back to when I first went to Citizens Bank. Like, it was the first time the Yankees had played there, and that was, like I said, that was late 2000s. So, crab fries were new to me, so I was like, oh my god, this is cool. And then Tony Luke's cheesesteak, which is the one that I was put onto, our friend Kelly, who I used to work with, she put me onto that, and I was like, you take the advice of the locals, right? Like someone came in town and asked us about pizza, they would listen to people instead of like whatever the hell magazines writing about. But yeah, that sucks that they don't have chicken steak too. I guess for people who don't eat steak, I assumed they did. I thought every cheesesteak place had chicken steaks.
No, I actually the last time I went to Philly, I don't remember the name of it. It wasn't Tony Luke's. I went to one of the cheesesteak places and they didn't have one there either. I ended up getting like our version of like an Italian hoagie type thing instead. And I do have one more thing to say. Sadly, folks, for those of you who know me, I love mascots. I did not get to meet the Philly Fanatic. I saw him on the field, but I didn't get to meet him. I'm very disappointed. That was the only reason why I wanted to go there.
Was he not going around in the stands or nothing like that, or walking around?
I never saw him. Okay. I asked this wonderful older woman who was working in the stands. I was like, "Does he come up here?" And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "I really want to meet him." And she said, "Oh, I think it's so adorable that you want to meet him," because I'm a grown woman. But no, I never saw him. And trust me, we walked the stadium several times on all the levels. I was I was everywhere we were going. I looked around for him. So no, he was on the field a lot and very funny, but I didn't get to meet him. Next time, Philly Fanatic, next time.
All right, so bucket list thing to do. Maybe next time the Yanks are playing there. I wouldn't mind. It's a short trip. It's only 2 hours.
It's a very short trip, yes.
It can take me 2 hours to get to Yankee Stadium in traffic sometimes. So
that again.
It's not too much of a difference. All right. So before we get into the rundown of the week, make sure you go ahead and send us some stars, which is a digital gift that helps us earn money for Pop Culture Pros. So come out and let's talk some baseball then. All right, so we will kick things off with the Yankees. I won't call it a West Coast trip because it wasn't exactly exclusively, but it was a trip against two last place teams where this is, you're trying to chase down the Rays and, kind of get your season going. This is the part of the schedule that you would expect to kind of take care of business with. And I would say the road trip was disappointing. They went 3-3, which you're like, okay, most times road trips, you take 500 or more, and you're like, okay with it. But this is against Oakland, who's running out like a double or triple A ball club. And, it's almost like the teams that go in, it's like the Harlem Globetrotters played against the Generals. Like, you kind of assume they're going to just beat the crap out of them and move on. The Yankees dropped the opener 2-1, which was immensely disappointing. Johnny Brito, though, did get recalled. He took the loss and pushing his record to 4-4. And this is a couple of times during this show where I'm going to mention that this is why baseball records, wins and losses for pitchers, you do take it with a grain of salt. I'm not like super analytics, but I do think analytics, the view of certain stats is warranted. He gets a loss for this 5 2/3, which is not outstanding, but in today's game, okay. 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 2 Ks. I mean, he did his job.
He did.
He did the job. He gave his team a chance to win, and that's the fate. He gets a loss. It annoys me. Josh Donaldson was 1-for-4 with his 7th home run of the season, which at that point was keeping a certain streak going. Anthony Rizzo was 1-for-2 with his 12th double of the season and 2 walks. Anthony Volpe was 3-for-4 on the night, and that was pretty much it for the Yankees offense. Completely. Pretty disappointing. Lisa, there was something going on with Josh Donaldson at this point?
Yeah, so as of that game, when he hit his 7th home run, it was his 31st career home run at the Coliseum, and quite possibly his last because they're moving. But the Yankees fell to 0-6 this season whenever he hit a home run. So while it's a good stat for him, it is not a good team stat whenever Josh Donaldson hits a home run. However, we will learn in a subsequent game this week, he broke that streak, thank God.
Yeah, thankfully. It was kind of getting weird. It was piling on to my issues with Josh Donaldson. It was like, yes, he hits home run. Oh, shit.
That means we're going to lose.
Yeah, basically.
I do have a quick Oakland A's update too, and apologies for probably pronouncing this guy's name right. Estuary Ruiz is the first Oakland A with 40 steals since, do you remember?
It's got to be Ricky Henderson.
No.
No.
After him. Awesome name. Awesome name.
Speedy A's.
Oh, an amazing baseball name.
Go ahead. I'm drawing a blank right now.
Coco Crisp.
Coco Crisp. Damn it. I usually think of him as a Red Sox for some reason, but yeah, he was with the A's for a while. So
yeah, so he had 40 steals. Coco Crisp had 40 steals in 2011, and Ruiz was the first to do that since, and the first in the major leagues with 40 stolen bases before July since 2015. So kudos to him. Anthony Volpe should do that too, but up until recently, he hasn't been getting on base enough to steal.
Oh, yeah. Anthony Volpe, we'll talk about in a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But, I definitely see that in his future. Like I said before, I think he's going to be their leadoff man once he, really solidifies consistently doing his thing at the plate, which it looks like he's starting to figure it out. But his game it screams leadoff hitter to me, like completely. So.
Absolutely.
The second game of the road trip, though, was a pretty big deal. And if you went ahead and stayed up for this, I mean, I'll admit it was a battle. I went through watching the game in multiple places, which I told Lisa about last night. I do not normally do, but it kind of lent itself to it. This is where the Yankees went ahead and blanked the A's 11-0, and Domingo Germán threw the fourth perfect game in New York Yankees history. He was the 24th major leaguer to throw a perfect game and the first Dominican-born player to pitch a perfect game in Major League Baseball. Quite a historic night. The stat line, Germán gets the win, obviously pushing his record to 5-5, which, see, that's a record where that's pretty much describes Germán's season. Like, he's up and down. He would have been the most unlikely starter out of all the Yankees. I'll even throw Clark Schmidt in there to have done this because he got smacked pretty bad his last two outings. No one saw this one coming, even against Oakland. 9 innings pitched, no hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 9 strikeouts. So pretty good strikeout performance there as well. Josh Donaldson did field the final play, final out of the game. That was a little cool thing for him. But for the offense for tonight, Giancarlo Stanton was 2 for 4 with the 7th home run of the season, 3 RBIs. Josh Donaldson 1 for 4, a double, which was his first double of the season. It's pretty much literally all or nothing with this guy. 2 RBIs, IKF 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 walks. So he had a pretty good night as well. When a run scored, Harrison Bader was 2 for 5 with his 3rd double of the season. Anthony Volpe was 2 for 4 with his 10th double of the season. A run scored and his 16th stolen base of the season. So pretty good night all around for the New York Yankees.
Do you know that Domingo Germán also had another record during the game?
Was it around the 99 pitches?
No, it was his he recorded his 500th strikeout.
I was not aware of that.
In the bottom of the first inning, he recorded his 500th strikeout. He did it in 107 games and his 85th start.
Nice. The 99 pitches, by the way, pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
He got through 9 innings with 99 pitches.
Yep.
And I'm so glad that wasn't a weird thing in the 7th or 8th inning where he was nearing 100. And then it would have been like, oh, are you going to let him finish this or not?
Oh, my God. Boone would have pulled him so quickly.
Oh, there's no question. They were not going to let him finish it. There's no question about it.
I didn't hear you say this, so I'm just going to say it out loud. And if you did, I'm sorry. But the 11 runs that the Yankees scored are the most in any perfect game as well.
Yeah, no, I did not. I left that open.
Yeah, so that's also pretty cool. A lot of records in the game.
Yeah, pretty historic night. Pretty awesome to see Germán. Obviously got the championship belt after the game.
Some, that was funny.
Pretty cool photos that the Yankees have posted and stuff. So pretty good thing all around. And I know the next night, Jeff Nelson had mentioned that apparently he went out and celebrated with some of the team because he was talking about like times where he went out and celebrated stuff, and it was something back in the day he was talking about. There was a time where he came home at 7:00 in the morning when they were playing. He was pitching for Seattle against the Yankees because he knew he wasn't pitching the next game. So that was interesting. But the next night, though, he did mention a little bit of celebration stuff, so I didn't get into too many details, which is
good. I'm sure they didn't want him to.
No, I'm pretty sure they did not. So that takes us to the series conclusion over there in Oakland, where the Yankees went ahead and beat up on Oakland, rightfully so, starting to get back on track there. Clark Schmidt picked up his third win of the season. His record was 3-6. Who has been pitching much better as of late? Like Schmidt looks significantly better. 5 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 Ks. IKF 2 for 4 with his 5th home run of the season, driving in 3. This was it. Josh Donaldson, 1 for 5 with his 8th home run of the season, 2 RBIs, breaking the streak that Lisa had mentioned. Thank God it was over. Hopefully he's not having too many more at-bats for the New York Yankees moving forward. But that's a whole other story. Harrison Bader was 3 for 4 with his 4th double of the season with an RBI and 2 runs scored. Giancarlo Stanton was 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run scored, and Gleyber Torres was 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs as well.
Yes, and Donaldson's home run was his longest in StatCast era. It was a 472-foot shot, so also a pretty impressive launch.
Yeah, when he gets into them, I'll say that I think we talked about a couple weeks ago. He was hitting the ball pretty hard. He's just not hitting the ball very often, which is a problem. So, Josh Donaldson. So, Yanks were rained out Friday night in St. Louis, which pushed it to a doubleheader on Saturday, and definitely a tale of 2 games. Where the Yankees completely got annihilated in the first game by a final of 11-4. Severino continuing to struggle, getting his 3rd loss of the season. His record is now 1-3. Lasted only 4 innings, 9 hits, 7 earned runs, 9 runs in total, 3 walks and 2 Ks. On the bright side, which there wasn't many in this game for the Yanks, Oswaldo Cabrera was 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. Anthony Volpe was 2 for 4 with a run scored, and Jake Bauers was 1 for 5 with his 7th home run of the season, driving in 2. And that brings us to the nightcap, which there was a lot of rain delays, by the way, in that first game. The second game started at like 8:30.
So the rain delays totaled 2 hours and 37 minutes.
It's a whole nother game.
That's a whole other game. I think
in 2023.
I think the game we went to last night was 2 hours and 37 minutes.
You're probably right. They could have played a triple header in a matter of that with the rain delays that they had in. So the Yankees did go ahead and salvage the nightcap by a final of 6-2. Yankees went with a bullpen game in this game, which I don't know. I'm not sure why you don't call up like a Johnny Brito. Maybe he wasn't on rotation in the minors. That's what I'm going to have to assume that was the case. They wanted to keep him on, but they went with the bullpen game. Michael King did pick up the win, his 2nd win of the season. His record's now 2-4, 3 1/3, 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, and 2 Ks. Anthony Volpe, red hot again, 2 for 4 with his 3rd triple of the season, an RBI and 2 runs scored. Gleyber Torres was 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs, and IKF had himself another game, 3 for 3 with a walk and 2 runs scored. Ian Hamilton actually got the start. He was the opener in this game.
Yeah.
Before, they started running out everybody. Yanks are pretty successful with these bullpen games. I mean, they're weird, and I know no one really cares for them that much, but their record in bullpen games is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. So tomorrow, spoiler alert, tomorrow is TBD. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious to see who they put out there to, then, whether they'll call up Brito or do another bullpen game or what. I don't know. But yeah, it's very peculiar.
Vasquez also.
Vasquez
or Brito would be guys that I would have called up.
Absolutely. Again, I don't know if you mentioned this. Anthony Volpe, with his hit in the top of the 2nd, extended his multi-hit streak to 5 games, which was the longest for a Yankee since Aaron Judge, and he did that in 2021.
Yeah, Volpe has definitely been starting to find it at the plate ever since the chicken parm dinner night with Austin Wells a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, maybe that's a new thing now. When you're struggling at the plate, go have some chicken parm dinner at Anthony Volpe's house, and then you kind of get going after that. So
there you go.
It'll be a thing now.
By the way, how did you feel about Jose Trevino doing a safety squeeze?
Pretty impressive because we don't see that much out of the Yanks.
Yeah, you
You
don't.
really don't. And that was it. I was thoroughly impressed. And it should be. It's going to sound like bad because I mean it was executed. Standards have been very much lowered with bunts these days. Like even like last night, I was pretty sure I was cursing about one and stuff like that. It's just that this is a simple thing. Both of our catchers should be able to do it, which he did it last night, which was impressive. I just shouldn't be a shot or like blown away by it. So, but no, I'm glad it's there. Maybe the team is working on fundamentals like that, like especially the bottom of the order. Trevino, Higgy, Volpe starting to work his way back to the top of the order again. But guys like that, like Brian, McKinney and stuff, like they should be able to execute those things.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't just be, swing for the fences or we don't score.
I mean, not for nothing. Much as I love him, maybe Giancarlo Stanton needs to lay down a friggin' bunt.
Listen, if he ever laid down a bunt, I mean, that would be astounding. And he would listen, even with his running or lack thereof these days, he would probably get a single easily because of the stunning. The whole defense would just be full.
I know everybody would be like, "Whoa, he knows how to hit the ball less than 100 miles an hour."
Yeah, but there are certain guys who like whatever. Should you know how to do it? Yes, but like Stanton, Judge, those guys shouldn't. Yeah, no. But
that was just a joke.
No. Listen, hey, it would be outstanding if you're struggling. Why not? Why not?
Yep.
So, all right, so that brings us to the Sunday game, which was the series conclusion, and more about records here in a second. Yanks went ahead and dropped this one 5-1. We're completely shut down on offense. Garrett Cole got the start. He took a loss in this game, his second loss of the season. Nope. 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 Ks, and wasn't much to speak of. So the Yanks offense 3 for 29 on the day, 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. But Garrett Cole gets a loss for that line. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 Ks. Jimmy Cordero came in and made a mess of things. He gave up 3 runs like basically instantly. So the wheels came off there. I think it was a 2-run homer to Nolan Arenado, I believe it was, that went ahead and pushed them up for good. So you got to take care of business against last place teams. So that's
yeah.
But that brings us to last night, where the Yanks came home and had their first ever fireworks night, at least in a new Yankee Stadium, and as far back as I can possibly remember. This is not a thing. It's something that I have thoroughly enjoyed visiting other ballparks throughout the years, and I have always wondered, I wonder if the Yankees would ever do something like this, and they did, and it was awesome. It was an awesome night overall, but the game itself was a tale of 2 games, because this game, the first half of this game, was not great.
No,
by any stretch of the imagination. Domingo Germán did get his first start since the perfect game, had a perfect first inning, and then not so perfect. He took a no decision on the night. He lasted 4 1/3, 9 hits, 2 earned runs, so a lot of hits, but only 2 earned runs. Nick Ramirez came in, by the way, and really kind of like saved his line right here, because he did strand some runners that were in there. So that was a big deal. No walks, though, 5 strikeouts. Tommy Kahnle picked up his first win of the season. Clay Holmes came and locked it down for his 10th save of the season. And those two, Kahnle and Holmes, have been lights out. I mean, the Yankees bullpen overall has been phenomenal this season, but Holmes looks like he's really straightened it out. He looks like first half 2022 Holmes again, where he's dominant. And Tommy Kahnle, Tommy Tight Pants, like he's been great. He does, man. That's it. Like, did you see the video I sent you? The Yankees dropped last night?
It's funny, you sent that to me and I had just seen it and posted it like 10 minutes before you sent it.
It was
Because
hilarious.
Giancarlo Stanton looks like the picture of The Rock with the fanny pack.
Yes,
In
yes.
that.
I love the fact that they had leaned into that. It's such a random commercial, but it's hilarious.
Oh man, that commercial is great for many reasons.
But Anthony Volpe was 2 for 4 on the night. Hit his 11th home run of the season. He really kind of got things going. 2 runs scored. Kyle Gashioka 2 for 2 with his fourth home run of the season. He also had his 8th double of the season. Those home runs were back to back, that really got the stadium jumping. I mean, it was a sellout crowd last night, and you could feel the energy completely lifted up. After the Volpe home run, it lifted up. But the Higgy one, then, I mean, the stadium was rocking last night.
And I called the Higgy homer.
Did. Lisa did call it. She said it'd be nice to have back-to-back now.
I mean, but it made sense because both of them, the prior at bat, Anthony Volpe looked like he was about to get a triple, but the outfielder made a phenomenal catch. And then Higgy basically hit it in the exact same place as Volpe, but it dropped in and he got a double. So they were both like right on top of the ball. I kind of feel, and when Volpe hit his home run the next inning, I was like, okay, Higgy's totally doing it then, because they were both right on time.
Oh, that outfielder that made that catch to Rob Volpe, though, he had a moment last night. So for those who may have not checked, Aaron Hicks did make his return to Yankee Stadium last night.
I forgot who it was.
The Yankees went ahead and put up a welcome back video, a little video montage, and the crowd booed to hell. And they booed Hicks every single at bat relentlessly. I participated in it. I fully admit that. But we were discussing this, and apparently some people, are kind of all in, got themselves twisted up in pretzels and stuff on Twitter and on social media about this. Talking to Yankee fans being like classless and stuff or something like that for the guy. The guy got booed out of Yankee Stadium for the last 2+ seasons straight.
He had to leave in the middle of a game.
Yes.
Because he kept getting booed by his fans.
Yes. What did you think was going to happen?
Exactly.
I mean,
it hasn't been that long. Like you said last night, it's not like it was a year and a half ago. This just happened.
Yeah. And I think if he was gone for if this happened last year and he was released last year and they haven't seen him since, I think the reaction goes over completely differently. Time has happened. The fact that it was only about a month or two ago, the wound is still fresh, and the fan base despises him. And now Donaldson is now the guy that he's out of there. So he's basically the guy we're all hoping that we can boo off the team. And fingers crossed it works. Maybe after the All-Star break, maybe during the All-Star break he gets released.
Maybe during.
Yeah,
during.
They got to cut the bait. But I don't know. I think whether you booed or not with Hicks last night, you're fine. I'm fine with it one way or the other. I personally didn't think it was in bad taste. I mean, he booed him. Aaron Hicks is going to be okay. Aaron Hicks is still getting paid by the New York Yankees and getting his salary from the Orioles. So if he feels bad about it, he can go and look at the next check that comes in or deposit he gets, and he'll feel a lot better about
it. I feel so much better.
Yeah.
Also, it's bad. You're really not beloved when Giancarlo. So I didn't know this until last night. I didn't recognize it, I should say, until last night. Giancarlo Stanton's batting average is really bad right now. It was like a 192 during the game. And Josh Donaldson's batting average was like a 198, I think, in the beginning of the game. Giancarlo Stanton wasn't getting booed. Josh Donaldson was.
Yeah, and Stanton has gotten his share of things at times, but nothing like Hicks. It's not in the same stratosphere as
no. Hicks was long-standing. I mean, we've been talking about it for the last 2 years hard. We were definitely talking ish about him for a while now on this podcast, and we'll continue to do so, I must say.
Yeah, no, he just it's horrible. He was. I don't know what you expected to happen. So, on one hand, you can look at him like, all right, Yankees, read the room. You kind of knew what was going to happen. But on the other hand, if they don't put up the video, does it look bad? I don't know. And I said this last night. I hear Hicks is a very nice dude. you know, like maybe the people there like love him, his teammates love him or something like that, but it wasn't working out here. That could be the case. We know Cashman and Boone love him, you know, maybe like a brother, who knows? But it's just, I don't know. I have no problem with the reaction of the fans last night, especially being that I was one of them that booed him in the video too. So, all right. Well, you had mentioned Giancarlo Stanton, though, who looks like he's starting to get this swing going at times, and it's crazy when bats at bat with him. Because and one at bat he could look phenomenal, and then another bat he looks like he's never picked up a bat in his entire life. So it's kind of weird. But he was 2 for 4 last night with a 6th double of the season. IKF was 2 for 4, and the big swing came though from Harrison Bader, who was 2 for 4 in the night, was 7th home run of the season, 3 RBIs. That 3-run homer he hit late in the game was tremendous. I mean,
so energizing.
The place erupted. And say what you will about, you know, my only knock against Bader has been his health since the Yankees have got him. Like, it does suck. He's had 2 IL stints, and yes, they got him knowingly in a walking boot last year. But when a dude is on the field, he's a difference maker for this team. He really is. Like, he brings the energy. He's an outstanding center fielder. And he's given you enough at the bat. I mean, if you were expecting Harrison Bader to be like a top 5 guy in the batting order, that's not who he is. He's never been that. He's not going to be. But if you can be a productive bat, bring speed, bring energy, you know, bring some leadership there, and outstanding defense, you know, I'm all for them re-signing him because he's a free agent after the season. And Monty's been good since leaving too. I'm not trying to knock Monty either, but you got to give something to get something. And the Yankees have pitching. Pitching is not the problem with the Yankees. It's been position players. And I don't know. I don't think it's good. I think they can get Bader for a pretty good price this offseason too. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. So.
Yeah, I love him in the outfield. I love his energy. I love how he pumps the other guys up. I think his energy reminds me of maybe a little bit lower key, but of Swisher.
Yeah, I can see that. A lot of people used to say Swisher's energy came off like he was kind of fake in a way.
Has anybody ever seen his Instagram? Because he's like that all the time.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I personally didn't think so. I'm just saying, but like that's been some data around. But Bader's is like, he's a gamer. He is. He's a gamer. He's that guy who, and I know I love the fact he wears the turtleneck from the '90s and stuff when it's cold. Where I don't know where the heck he got it from. But
I told you he stole it from Brett Gardner's locker.
Oh yeah, it's probably true. But he just reminds me of those kind of guys. Again, just stay on the field. That's literally my only knock with Bader. And otherwise, I'm a pretty big fan of his.
Me too.
And the fireworks night. So, do you want to talk about it first?
Sure. So for those of you who know me personally, the 4th of July is my least favorite holiday, not because I don't love America, I do, but because of the fireworks. So I am like Ted from the movies. I need a thunder buddy. I need a fireworks buddy. I'm like everybody's dogs during the 4th of July. I go hiding in a hole and I need to have headphones on. So when Ed invited me to the game, I stared at my phone because he invited me via text. I stared at my phone for several minutes and I was like, I want to go because I want to see the Yankees, but do I really want to torture myself with the fireworks? So I eventually said yes, like a big girl. And his wife was even surprised that I said yes because she knows me. But it ended up being beautiful. I did wear my headphones. I was not playing music, though. I just wore the headphones to deafen it a little bit. But it was beautiful. It wasn't crazy loud. The reason why I went because I didn't think the Yankees were going to be dropping M80s in the field. And they didn't. It was gorgeous. They had it timed to the music. I mean, a couple of the songs were head scratchers, I have to say. I'm disappointed they didn't play Empire State of Mind because I feel like that would have been a good one to play. But no, it was great. And I mean, the song that they ended on was absolutely perfect. It was New York, New York. Very beautiful. If you follow our Instagram page, which Ed loves to tell you the name of it at the end of the show, I did post a couple of videos I took on our page, so you can see it there or on the Yankees page. But it was really sweet. I did, and I will fully admit this too. I had to grab Ed's shoulder right before it started. They had a 100-second countdown, which was almost as long as the countdown for the beginning of our shows. So at the last 10 seconds, I went like this on Ed's shoulder. Hopefully, I didn't do like the Vulcan death grip on him.
That was all right.
But he was very kind and allowed me to do so and didn't make fun of me. Ed, what did you think?
I loved it. I've seen a pretty good amount of these shows now in other cities, like I mentioned, even like minor league ballparks. I'm sure I've caught one in Brooklyn and Staten Island as well. But this was great. Yanks did a great job last night. The music selection, especially when you pepper in a little Journey, could be a little rough. But no, I mean, you knew they were going to close with New York, which was great. Party in the USA, I kind of figured something like that was coming too. And it was just cool that they went ahead and played it. They fired them off to the beat. And Enter Sandman was great. When they started playing it, I'm like, Enter Sandman's a pretty long song.
I
was like, they actually go? No, they did. They did a shortened version
and
of
Welcome
it
to the Jungle.
And Welcome to the Jungle as well. So I personally liked most of the musical choices. They were a little bit random, but they're also songs you would hear at Yankee Stadium for the most part. I mean, I'm sure at the game today they will play every American song you could possibly imagine. Anything with the title of U.S. or America will be played at Yankee Stadium today, which, yes, it's 4th of July. Happy birthday, America, so why not? But, yeah, the Journey song I thought was a little random. That was, and whatever, maybe it's because it's me, and I despise Journey, but that was the one I thought was random. Everything else I was okay with.
You know what would have been, like, really epic is if, while they played Enter Sandman, Mariano Rivera came out with, like, sparklers.
If he would have jogged out of the bullpen with sparklers, that would have been phenomenal.
That's so cool. Yeah. We didn't mention there were pre-fireworks, literal fireworks randomly during the game. And there was also, what was that, a falcon?
I don't know what kind. Maybe it was a falcon?
It wasn't an eagle. I think it was a
started
falcon.
Off in right field foul pole and flew to the left field.
Yeah. Yes, that was really cool.
And they could have timed out. You would have thought the Yankees put that together the way it happened, because it was right before the fireworks. It went from one to the other.
Yep.
Could be the Rally Falcon.
So it was a Rally Falcon. So Ed and I have I think we were both at all 3 games. Were we? I know I was at the Squirrel game. But yeah, I was with you. Was I with you?
Yeah, we were both at the Squirrel game. That's when we were in the suite.
Okay.
That was the suite. It's the Orioles.
Right. So we were at the Squirrel game. We were now at a Falcon game. And weren't we at the Cat game too?
I think we were, actually. I think we were.
I know I was, and I'm usually at a game with you. So we've been at games with 3 different animals on the field, and our favorite game was the bag.
Oh, yes. The floating bag by Anthony Rizzo.
That flag was involved in the game for like three innings straight.
It was fascinating to watch where that whole thing was going.
Anthony Rizzo was like...
Yeah. So, listen, I hope the Yanks go ahead and keep this going or make this an annual thing, because I think whenever they're home, obviously. And you have to do it at night. Doing it today would have made no sense, because no one would have saw anything. And I don't think you're going to do a night 4th of July game in New York, because you have the Macy's fireworks show going off at the same time. That would be a little bit weird. So I think the timing of this was cool. So.
It was, and I think I've only been at the stadium twice with the lights fully off. Oh my God, it's so pretty.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. They were doing a big light show last year in the playoffs, like before the game, so that was pretty cool.
Yes, that's where I saw it, yes.
Yeah, and I'm sure that'll be the case with the concert, with the
oh my God, I can't wait.
50 Live. Yeah.
I can't wait for that.
Me too, that should be awesome. All right, so that takes us to our awards of the week. First off will be the top of the heap hitter of the week. And Lisa, who is your top of the heap hitter of the week?
You know what? I'm going to let you go first, because I have 2 people that I can go with, and I feel like we're both going to have the same first pick. So you go first. All right.
Going with Chicken Parm, Anthony Volpe is my pick of the week. Over his last 7 games, he's hitting .519 with a .536 on-base percentage and a .741 slugging percentage. 1 home run, 2 RBIs, a walk, Only 4 strikeouts, which was an issue for him at one point. So that's pretty good. And 1 stolen base. Hopefully, like to see a little bit more of those, though, because I mean, he did get his first caught stealing of his career during the road trip, but he's pretty damn great at it. I would like to see him get more aggressive on the bases. That was 14 hits and 7 runs scored, so he's 14 for 27 over the last 7, and it's the exact 7 that we covered. So, what do you got?
So he was my first choice. However, I had a shout out, so I'm gonna go with my shout out. Isaiah Falefa.
Nice.
Yeah, he also had a really good week. His slugging percentage was .619, on base percentage .519. He also had a stolen base. He had 5 walks, 9 hits, 6 runs, 5 RBIs, 1 home run. His average for the week was .429, and his OPS was 1.138. So he was right there with Anthony Volpe all week long.
And who? So you had Volpe and IKF.
Yep.
Okay. I was trying to find I was trying to find the stat that was posted recently about Volpe's numbers since here we go. So in his last 18 games since the chicken parm dinner at his house with Austin Wells, he's 22 for 58. So he's hitting .379 over his last 18 games with 5 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs, 7 walks, and an OPS of 1050. So that slight adjustment in the batting stands that him and Wells took a look at has done wonders for him. To question why our Yankees hitting coach or anyone in the organization didn't figure that out a little bit sooner, that's a whole nother question, but I'm just glad it got figured out. I'll just put it that way.
So do you think that this chicken parm thing is similar to, I think it was, who was it? Was it Wade Boggs that ate chicken before every game?
Before every single game. Now, I don't think, I mean, I haven't heard if Anthony Volpe's pounding down a chicken parm before every game.
He definitely can't do chicken parm, but if it's chicken.
No, that would be impressive. Well, he's still young, do it. But
he is still young. He can do it. It's not like
he can still do it for now.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm just glad to see the kids go, and I can imagine him getting up to the leadoff spot, sooner than later, because now he's out of the bottom, and we'll go over the lineup in a minute for today, but he is finding his way back into an RBI slot, but I think that's where he'll ultimately fit in perfectly. So our King of the Hill pitcher of the week, I mean, it's kind of hard to go another way, but it's at least you could say
it for both of us.
Yeah, it's Domingo Germán. You throw
Absolutely.
a perfect game. I mean, that's just what it is. We went over all the crazy stats for the perfect game earlier in the show, so he's our King of the Hill pitcher of the week. Kind of can't go ahead and around that. Second start could have been better, but perfect game, topples it no matter what.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop the Yankees lineup then that was just revealed as the show was going on. So we will take a look at this together for the first time before we get to the rest of our series preview. And bang, we actually have some graphics for this. So Lisa, you want to go through the Yankee lineup?
Absolutely. So this is interesting, as you named when it first popped up, because Anthony Rizzo, who was our cleanup hitter last night, is batting first tonight, playing first base. Up second, Gleyber Torres playing second base. Third up, one of my favorites ever, Giancarlo Stanton is DHing today. And let me tell you, I was thrilled that he was in right field last night because I got to see him the entire night, not just when he got up to bat. So thank you for that early 4th of July gift, Yankees. Batting cleanup, number 4, Jake, damn it, Chloe Bowers, playing right field tonight. So we'll see how that goes. And then number 5, and you see him right there grinning at you, but his retainer is not out of his mouth in this picture. Harrison Bader will be batting 5th and playing center field. And as Ed just mentioned, Anthony Volpe climbed up a little bit, number 7 on the batting order. Anthony Volpe playing shortstop, followed by Isaiah Falefa, who was my hitter of the week, batting 8th, playing third base today, which means that our boy Le Machine is getting the night off. And then, I'm counting wrong. Nope, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7th was Isaiah Falefa. 8 is Oswaldo Cabrera playing left field. And batting ninth is the catcher, Jose Trevino. And pitching for us tonight is Clark Schmidt. Today is Clark Schmidt.
Yeah, so hopefully he continues his streak going. This is a huge series for the Yankees. This is a pretty big homestand going into the All-Star break because, I mean, you're chasing the Orioles. If you can win this series, then you got the Cubs coming in this weekend, which that's a team you should be beating up on. But we said that about the Cardinals as well. So this has just been a roller coaster that's been the Yankee season so far. But still 9 games above 500. You're still in the mix here. You're tied for the second wild card with the Astros at the moment. Not saying that division's gone, but you got to kind of climb up, the ladder before you're going to get there. So,
Yep.
So that's the Yankees lineup for this afternoon. And do we have anything on the? You said mentioned tomorrow's a TBD.
Tomorrow's TBD, but we have the rest of them. So today, as we saw, I'll start with Clark Schmidt because we saw his name already. He'll be pitching for the Yankees. He's a righty. He has a 3-6 record, 4.37 ERA, and 79 strikeouts for the season. And he'll be up against Kyle Gibson, who's a right-hand pitcher, 8-5 record, 4.66 ERA, and 74 strikeouts. Tomorrow, July 5th, Dean Kramer will be up for the Orioles, right-hand pitcher, 8-4 record, 5.04 ERA, 82 strikeouts, and he'll be up against the Yankees mystery person, so we'll see who that will be. And then in their game 4 on the 6th, Kyle Bradish, it will be pitching. He's a righty, 4-4 record, 3.58 ERA, and 74 strikeouts, and he'll be up against Luis Severino, who's a righty with a 1-3 record, 6.30 ERA, and 34 strikeouts on the season. And then after that, they'll be playing the Cubbies.
Yeah, so got to take care of business. That's pretty much the thing. But first things first, take care of the Orioles. And by the way, today, July 4th is a pretty big day in Yankees history as well. I mean, first and foremost, you got Lou Gehrig's speech, his luckiest man in the world speech, which I'm sure will be played many times during today's broadcast as well. Starts with that. You got Dave Righetti's no-hitter against the Red Sox in 1984, which is a big moment too. Also, John Sterling and George Steinbrenner's birthday is today. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure Susan Waldman will have her star-spangled vest.
Oh, that spectacular vest.
Yes, that will definitely be rocking today. So, listen, whatever you're doing today, enjoy your day, whether, barbecue, some baseball, some beers, some fireworks, not the loud ones.
Some headphones, whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
I will say this. I have a life hack calendar, and on today's one, this is good to know, especially for you, Ed. It said more dogs are lost on the 4th of July than any other day of the year. So I'm assuming it's because I'm like a dog on the 4th of July, and they go hiding because they're terrified of the fireworks. So take care of your pups. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your kids if you have them. Be safe out there. A lot of people can get crazy today, but enjoy it and celebrate.
Yeah. She started to get her, relaxing pills and stuff like that too. Last night was bad, by the way, with the Thunder. That actually woke me up. I don't know if you heard it or not, but it was.
I did not. Thank God.
Yeah, it was pretty serious. I was like, wow, that's a bit nuts. So. Mm-hmm. All right, well, we're going to change it up for our closing for the day because, it is 4th of July, so. Those who listen to Network would probably be a little bit familiar with this, but, it's one of my favorite, crazy American songs. So, I grew up in the 80s as a kid. It's real American. So, all right. Well, thanks for joining us today. As always, if you check this out on the Facebook live stream, be sure to check out the Empire 161 show group and join the group. We got a bunch of cool lineups and highlights and stories that don't make the show, so you can come check that out. Check out Pop Culture Pros as well, because we are presented by popculturepros.com. And also check out, the other shows that are on the network as well. If you're checking us on YouTube, subscribe to Pop Culture Pros. Twitter, follow at Pop Culture Pros, and also follow us at Empire 161 Show. And also on Instagram at _Empire _161 _ show. So, A lot of fun there. And wherever you found your audio only podcast, go ahead and hit subscribe as well. We'll see you all next week. Let's go Yankees and happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July, folks.